Today, let's break down the new OTS 9. When the OTS 9 came out, there was a lot of worry that it would become quickly overpowered and that everyone would be using it. But we don't really see it that much. So let's figure out why. Before we get into the stats, let's get into the recommended build. In this build, we're using the GRU Suppressor, the Tiger Team Spotlight, KGB Skeletal Stock, Bruiser Grip, and VDV 40 round fast mags. So let's get straight into the stats, starting with mobility. It has an ADS time of 230 milliseconds, which isn't the fastest, but it's good enough. Its reload times are 2.1 seconds from empty or 1.67 seconds if you have at least one bullet in the mag. And it has a mag cap of 40. Its movement and sprint speeds are pretty great because it's a Cold War weapon, but even then, they're actually pretty high, reaching almost maximum sprint speed without using the patrol grip. And its ADS strafe speed is 3.03 meters per second, which is absolutely great. Its sprint out and attack sprint out times are 75 and 140 milliseconds, and its sprint out time of 75 is really great. And its aiming stability, although kind of irrelevant, is 1.5 T, which is still good. And its bullet velocity is 465.1 meters per second, which is actually pretty decent. And its rate of fire is 14.28 rounds per second or 857 rounds per minute, which is really great. So it gets a mobility score of 43. Its recoil plot doesn't look that great, but its recoil is basically straight up, so it's actually usable to 30 meters. But trust me, even if you can control it, you don't want to be stretching this to those ranges. So it gets a recoil score of 30. Now for its damage. It has two drop-offs, one at 9 meters and one at 17 meters. Under 9 meters, there's basically one other weapon that can beat you, and that's the ASVAL. But besides that, when you're indoors, you're going to find out that your movement speed and your great TTK make you win a lot of gunfights. And technically, if you don't miss any shots, you can down a whole team. But even if you have only 20% accuracy, you'll still be able to down someone. Between 9 and 17 meters though, this isn't that great. You'll be being beaten by most assault rifles, but at least you'll be on par with many of the SMGs. After 17 meters though, while its TTK isn't the worst, I would definitely be using a different weapon. Basically, most assault rifles will be beating you here, and if anyone has a long-range SMG, they'll pretty much have all the advantages. So it gets a damage score of 50.1. And when we add up all the categories, we get a final score of 123.1. So you can see that the OTS 9 is a pretty niche weapon. It's extremely fast moving, and it's extremely high damage, under 9 meters. So how do we use the OTS 9? Well, pretty much treat it like a shotgun basically. This weapon is for extremely aggressive players. You're going to be wanting to push people and get up in their face and mow them down before they even have time to react. Or if you're running around with this thing and you come across a corner and someone's just waiting for you, there's a good chance you may be able to beat them. Its magazine size though means that it's not just for aggressive players, but more skilled aggressive players. Ideally, you'd want an accuracy rating of at least 50% so that you could at least take on 2 people with this. But I know that 20% is a pretty average number, so if you are among the people that have 20%, try to only use this in solos since you'll barely have enough ammo for that. But other than that, I mean, this weapon is pretty good at what it is, although, like I said, it is extremely niche. If you want a more balanced weapon, this is not it. If you want a more balanced weapon, then you should go for something like the MP7 or the PPSH, since they're both pretty good at close and medium range. And if you want something a little bit more aggressive, but that can also stretch out ranges, then you can also look at the MAC-10. And if you want just raw killing potential, then you can just go for the ASVAL, although the ammo situation is a lot worse there and your movement speed is as well. But even for hyper aggressive players, I'm still not sure if I should recommend this, cause how often do you find yourself fighting someone under 9 meters? Often when I'm playing a more balanced loadout, I am using a longer range assault rifle paired with an SMG. And there comes a point where I want to swap to the SMG, and that's usually under 15 meters, which is still in the first damage range of many SMGs, but not this one. I mainly use the PPSH as my secondary, and I use it when I'm rushing people. And I start this from 25-30 meters even, but with the OTS 9, I find myself running out of ammo before I even get to them. At longer distances, it definitely feels like a pea shooter, and you basically alert them exactly to where you are. And it just feels kind of unfair when you're opening fire first and then they just turn around and kill you instantly. Since I don't find myself in buildings very often, I don't really have a use for the OTS 9. But if you like staying inside buildings and you actually are pushing people, then why not give the OTS 9 a try? But if you're just camping in a building and sitting around, there are better weapons out there. I just won't tell you what they are. So So that's the OTS-9. Have you used it? And if so, what'd you think about it? And if there's any weapons, builds, or part of the game you want me to break down, let me know and you may see them on the next Community Wednesday. But that's the video. If you enjoyed it, if it's helped you in any way, let me know by leaving a like. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section down below. And if you want to make sure that you never miss another video, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.